السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله حمدا كثيرا مباركا طيبا فيه مباركا عليه كما يحب ربنا ويرضى. وصلى الله على النبي المصطفى المجتبى صلاة تطيب بها القلوب وتكشف بها الغموم والكروب وتغفر بها الذنوب، صلاة وسلاما دائمين متلازمين إلى يوم جمع الثقلين. أما بعد، فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إنما يخشى الله من عباده العلماء. وقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم: اللهم إني أسألك علما نافعا وأعوذ بك من علم لا ينفع، أو كما قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. Respected ulama, scholars, brothers young and senior, and those who are at home or at a distance listening through alternative means and devices, I greet you all with the greetings in Islam and congratulate all of you, particularly those who have arranged this program, for arranging this program on this particular theme. And allow me to explain why I am congratulating you, because it is a growing need of the age. I have spent about 30 plus years, more actually, nearly 40 years, in a Darul Uloom and a university. So as they say, my hair has become white there. So hopefully, and I am conscious there may well be participants in the crowd today who may not have gone to school in the UK. I do not wish to embarrass anybody by asking, but equally I understand and I can see with the crowd that there are quite a few youngsters who at the moment are going through primary school. There will be others who are going through secondary school. There will be others who will be going through their A-level years, and those perhaps listening at a distance or present here who will be attending universities, or even those who may well be on apprenticeships or college universities. In our country, the United Kingdom, education is free up to a certain level. This was based on a few educational acts that were brought in the early part of the 20th century, which means everybody in the UK between the ages of 5 to 16 or 4 to 16 now has a right to an education. And this is monitored. It is evaluated. And there is a system in place. It is a parental choice though. You have to give education. How you give that education is your choice. If you want to give it at home and you call that homeschooling, that is fine, that is your choice. You can do that as a parent. But you may well get a visit. So is this being done or not done? Because it's a legal requirement that everybody has a free education. Now, we need to understand whether you're in a Darul Uloom, you will have education, secondary years. Whether you're in a normal school, whether you're in an independent school, whether you're in a fee-paying school, whether you're in a public school, whether you're in a academy, whether you're in a free school, whether you're in a local authority maintained school, any type of school, all those secondary schools, all those primary schools are governed by one thing. That's the national curriculum. So if you want to understand the schooling system, and I'll hopefully just try to go to the point, we have to understand the national curriculum. If you want to understand the Darul Uloom, you equally have to understand Dars-e-Nizami. The national curriculum has a set of values, and I will explain those in a few minutes. The Dars-e-Nizami has a set of values. And in front of scholars, I am humbled to offer my suggestions what those values are. What is a university education? What is the culture of a university? What is higher education? What is the history of higher education? What is the history of universities? I shall try to shed some light on this in light of published materials. But to allow you to understand the size of the issue. In the UK, we have about, and I'll talk round numbers, not exact numbers, we have about 130, 40 odd colleges, universities. And we have a population of 65 odd million people. The Muslim population is about 5% of that, and growing. We're going to have the census data coming out soon. Within the next few months, I would anticipate the census data will be coming out. And we will know the most up-to-date figures and data that of the size of the Muslim community. I would expect that we are the fastest growing community. We get married more, we don't waste time, we grow a lot. And we grow fast. Okay? And if I was to pick on your local wards in Batley and I said, look at this ward 20 years ago and look at it now. All the data is there and it's all researchable. It's no big thing. So, Hazrat Tashif, tawajjuh idhar se hogi, kareeb se. So from that 5% Muslim population, across the country, in those 130 odd universities, colleges, we have approximately, based on, there is a body called Higher Education Statistics Agency. It's called for short, abbreviated HESA. In the report of 2016-17, 6 years ago, okay, we could dig up the latest one. We have a figure of approximately 2.8 million UK students who are in universities. And I've just said 5% are Muslims in this country. So you would expect 5% of 2.8 million to be in university. Is there an accountant here? Any accountant here? Or are you scared to say anything? Okay. Anybody can work out 5% of 2.8 million, you will get your answer. How many there should be, how many Muslims there should be. Okay. Now you have to add to that, I've just said, nearly more than 50% of the community is made in England. Before it was less than 50%. The children here, made in UK. Not made in India, not made in Pakistan, not made in Afghanistan, made in UK. So they're all going to go through the education system. All our children, alim, non-alim, going through the education system. National curriculum, as I just said. So from the 2.8 odd million, this is 6 years ago, and just consider it 3 million, 8 to 9% of the Muslim population were going into colleges and universities. Call it double. So more than double what we should expect. I said 5% would be normally going. But it's double. That means in the years coming forward, who are the people who are going to go for jobs? Muslims. The workforce within 10 years is going to change. There'll be more Muslims in workforce. More what they call BAME, Black and Ethnic Minority Communities. This is the landscape we need to understand. This is changing right in front of us. And our children are going to be part of that because they're not going back to India, not going back to Pakistan, not going back to Afghanistan or Bangladesh or wherever. They're staying here. Inna hauna qa'idun. Okay, we are here. We're not moving. So we need to understand the college, the school, the higher education system. So we have approximately, and I'll just quote the figure, we have approximately 230,000 Muslim, UK-based Muslims in the university system. And I said this is 6 years ago. You can expect more. I can give you a history all from 1990 all the way up to now, the rise in the Muslim population. Sisters, brothers, different types. And 1% is probably from outside. And we have more coming in from outside because, of course, education is a big business in this country, so foreign students have double fees and universities need to exist. So you have about 250,000 Muslim boys and girls, students, brothers and sisters in the system going to universities. And the other thing, the job market is changing. So this is the context. 250,000 people in the system. They are all learning for earning. You learn, you get a job. That's learning for earning. Now in that system, the job market is changing. You're starting to be an accountant. Given that we don't have an accountant sat here, we need an accountant. Who's the accountant sat here? Oh, Hafizab. You kept quiet, Hafizab. Given that we need another accountant now. Hafizab's about to retire. We need an accountant. But he will say to you, the accountancy whole market is changing. And one of the biggest game changer is artificial intelligence. If you want to do a course now, I would suggest think about artificial intelligence and data science. And we're all affected by it. But these 250,000 people in the system, now what's going to happen when you come out with your degrees, you've got 3 billion people across the world who are sat at home working, now going for the same job. Not 30 anymore. People say, what are all these Darulums opening for? How many ulama are coming to the system? Well, what about all these graduates coming into the system? Darulums never say you're coming to learn to earn. You learn to serve. The other system is saying you learn to earn. Where are the jobs then? So creation of jobs is an issue going to be for the new graduates. And you got your fees to pay as well. And in that world, the biggest thing that you can have, and I say to university systems students all the time, the biggest quality you can have nowadays is that you learn, unlearn, and relearn. Because you will no longer be in one job. You will, in your career, have 5 to 6 jobs. There are so many people, and you may know somebody. I had a brother come to my house the other day, spent 2 hours because he had to retrain everything. He trained as one thing, a pharmacist, but he had to go into something else. And this is normal now, absolutely normal. Because you have to go through 5, 6 jobs, because the jobs are closing down. In one area, you have to go to another area, and then you have to retrain. If you want more about this, read a book by the Oxford University. It's called 80,000 Steps. Recently been published. They say people work for 40 years, perhaps 40 hours a day, for 50 weeks a day. 50 times 40? Times by 40 again? So 80,000 steps. 80,000 steps for your career. And you're learning one thing, you're going for a job market and the jobs don't exist. What are you going to do? You're going to have to retrain. So that's what we're dealing with. Now, the other thing is, where does this education system fit in as part of the wider world? Your life and here as a Muslim, it's the same issue for an ultra-Orthodox Jew, same issue for an ultra-Orthodox Catholic, where religion matters, faith matters, and there is a belief in the hereafter. So where does the education fit in with the hereafter? That's also a challenge. So what we must understand is, when we know the number game here now, what are the values? We've all gone through the national curriculum. We all know Baba Black Sheep. We all know the story of 3 little pigs. Some of us may even know some of those Christian hymns. Some of us may even know the Lord's Prayer. I went to a Christian gathering full of 50, 60 priests, all sat there. And they were absolutely shocked when I said the Lord's Prayer, by memory after many years. And I said to one, any one of you, can you recite please Surah Fatiha? Achha. So in that scenario, what are the values here of the national curriculum? Well, one of the values, of course, and those children are sat here, will be studying citizenship. And you as a parent will get the letters. Citizenship. Or PSHE, personal, social, health, education. Now, a curriculum reflects what's happening in society. Whatever the values in society are transferred into the curriculum. And curriculum changes. and there is a committee that changes it. Your religious education syllabus that's happening in your Batley schools, Dewsbury schools, will be set by a SACRI committee at the local authority. That's there. So your values, or one of the values of the national curriculum, is citizenship. Loyalty to the state. Now, in such a scenario, i.e. you're sovereign, malakut in Arabic. On the other side, Darse Nizami will teach you, you are a khalifa. Inni ja'ilun fil ardi khalifa. How do you balance sovereignty with vicegerency? Malakuiyat with khilafat. How do you balance that? That is the challenge of the children. That's why you see the children confused. We need to provide the balance for the children. Value number 2. One curriculum says freedom. And from nursery to PhD, your children will be coming home and will be saying, Dad, why this? Why this? Why this? Why this? You have to do this. Well, why do I have to do wudu? Maulanas are teaching. Well, why this? And you ask the Maulanas who are teaching in the maktab, they will be dealing with questions they never even heard of. Allahu Akbar. So one value is freedom. Hurriyat. I do as I please. On the other side, you have restrictions. You can only do what Sharia permits you to do. You can only do what Quran permits you to do. You can only do what the Prophet ﷺ instructed us to do. How do you balance that? That is our challenge. On one side, the curriculum will say you have rights. Freedom of speech. Freedom to do this. Right to do this. And the rights may well be, as a community, you can dress how you like. You can do as you like. But equally, if you want to have that right, bear in mind other people need to have their right as well. That's the way the system, the work, the deal is on the table like this. That's our way. Value number 4. Like I just said, earn. You learn to earn. On the other side, Darse Nizami asks everybody who sat here has gone to Darul Uloom, they never ever heard in 6 years or 8 years of study, you're learning to earning. Learn for khidmah. Maulana Sahib saying. For khidmah. For 6 years you heard this word khidmah so many times, it came out in your sleeps and dreams. For khidmah, to serve. Now how do you balance earning, with khidmah? These answers, by the way, are not too difficult. Value number 5. One will give you indulgence. Enjoy yourself. One will say zuhd, abstinence. Tasawwuf. Hazrat is the expert on that, and Hazrat will talk about that, inshallah. I'm going to give Hazrat all the topics to talk about, all the difficult ones. Abstinence. One is haviyat. Hawa. I want to do this. I like it. What's the problem here? What's stopping me? Why? I like doing this. You like the kids who are playing on games. Gaming industry. Just notice how they are so engaged in it and can play for hours. Hazrat Maulana did, mashallah, a very good talk, quite a few talks actually, on gaming. Last year, I think. Billions of dollar industry. You ask your own child to pray with the Quran for half an hour, you've done really well. You ask the same kid to play 4 hours on a game, you will have no problems at all. The mother will text, say, come to food, come to dinner, but the child is not moving. Values. So on the one side, you have indulgence against abstinence. Your desires or zuhd, stay away, control yourself. On the one side, you have information. You can do your degree sat at home. It's information. The systems are in place. Or on the other side, in one side, the national curriculum, the university education, everything will give you information to pass the degree that you want to do, or get the A star or grade 9 or whatever. On the other side, on the Darse-e-Nizami, you have transformation. So you sent one boy from Batley, and when he came back 6-7 years later as an alim, totally changed. Transformation. That's what the mashayikh did. Took the child, gave back the man. One system, you have egocentric, I, me and myself. On the other side, it's all about altruism, i.e. ithar. Give preference to others, not about me, but others. That is khidmah. Our brothers from Jamaat will say khidmah, ikramul muslimin. You have individualism on one side, I, me and myself. On the other side, you have qawm ki khidmat, communalism. Can you see the values? So those who just go to a Darse-e-Nizami system come out with a set of values. Those who come out with the state sector system or the secondary education system come out with a set of values. Now, Darul Ulum also has the national curriculum. Markaz also will be teaching national curriculum. So the national curriculum has a set of values, and you can't change that unless you're on the quality curriculum teams. So how do you balance the two? Now, the balancing comes then is, what is your set of values? What do you believe in? Where do those values come from? How do you balance your Islam, which is important to you, with what you want to achieve? How are you going to make sure that your profession that you want to do, so what are basically our 6 numbers, 6 number of a university education? Well, first and foremost, what is your intention of going to university? Which course do you want to do? Those students who are on arts courses, humanities courses, philosophy, psychology, religious studies, all these are under arts and humanities. And then you've got science, technology, engineering, medicine, that's STEM subjects. A lot of our Muslim students are going into medicine, going into being lawyers, going into IT, computer sciences. You know why? That's where the money is. Other communities are going into what is called PPE, politics, philosophy, economy. And guess who's going into those courses? Politics, philosophy, economy. So you're saying there is an overrepresentation in politics from this community. Wonder why? In philosophy, how are things understood? 18th century was there was a big rise in Europe, 18th century in philosophy. It's still taught to this day. Economy, how to understand the economy. All of these fields, Muslims were the contributors. Now we are recipients. We no longer create knowledge. Muslims created knowledge. Now we are receiving knowledge. We don't create anymore. We've lost our trade, which is the sad thing. So in that sense, when I'm saying to you values, those values that a child receives at home or in the maktab system are very, very important. You ask any maktab system, the questions that the kids are bringing is absolutely amazing and dumbfounding. So the other thing is halal income. Halal income is an obligation upon all of us after our other obligations. So your profession should be linked with not only halal income, but also how are you going to become a producer, a product that's going to give back to society. So if you are doing accountants up here, for example, and medicine stuff, how many times have you heard that in the summer months, doctors are going to, by certain charities in Africa, to give 2 months with no pay service to the third world? These are not Muslim doctors, by the way. Because they care for human beings. That's khidmah. So you can be a doctor, earn a bucket load of money, and serve the community. That's how you make your profession for Allah and the community. You can equally do science, for example, and go and teach in some third world country in the summer. Or you can make you have your side business with tuitioning, you can pick out those students who come from a very poor background but are exceptionally talented and give them free tuition. So those who studied in Oxford, and the labels that you get a degree from Oxford, labels at the back of a name are slightly different. One of their trainings is to go and serve in poor areas. So you realize how you have been blessed with an education. That is khidmah. So our youngsters, like our mashayikh taught us, khidmah. You can serve the community through the profession that you go into. And in our current age and in the future, knowing IT literacy is going to be like knowing English. If you don't know your IT, or if you're scared of pushing a button on a computer, then the future is going to be limited for us. That's the reality of the situation. And I'm just telling you the reality. There's no longer one person wants to be a lawyer, is going to be a lawyer for 40 odd years. Because the world is changing too rapidly. Machines will be doing the job the solicitors will be doing, and more accurately. That's the world we're going into. And that's the world of artificial intelligence and data science. And that's, if we want to be a producer, a good social product, and serve people, not just Muslims, serve any human being, the khidmah bit, then you have to think, what do I want to do? Is this halal for me to do? And ask your local ulama, what can you do or what can't you do? So if you're going to be doing degree in the alcohol trade and the production and processes of alcohol and going and working for Guinness, and then you're going to put that income as food you're buying from Sainsbury's or Morrison's or Asda or whatever into your stomach, you will see the effect of that. I don't want to, Allama, our mashayikh would say they would know where their income came from where they were spending it. So our choice of profession is very important. And whilst you're at universities, by the way, this is the outside thing of a university. Where to go to university, your students who will be in their A-level years now, which we call further education, they will be in the second year of education. They will have results. Based on their projected results, they will be sending letters out to university for a place for whatever they wish to do. They will be sending to 5 places and deleting 2 choices, and from 3 they will get places. Now, one of the things parents are concerned, I don't want to send my son too far or my daughter too far. Like I said, 250,000 people in the system, Muslims. So which businessman has got some disposable income and investment, and students are going to London for medical studies, or London School of Economics, for all kinds of studies? It's a good university. So Oxford, Cambridge, Muslim numbers are increasing. Or School of Oriental and African Studies in London. Open a hostel. Employ an imam there. You can run it as Canada, Maulana will tell you, is a block of flats. At the bottom there is a masjid. Maulana, consider masjid ka naam hai? 2770. 27 musalla, 70 musalla. Block of flats at the bottom, at the base is a masjid. Fajr is full because everybody just comes down in the lift. MashaAllah. So if you have a hostel where you have halal food, just get somebody to cook all the way from India. Food like home, mum's cooking. Wash clothing, it's a business in itself. And the child will be looked after. How many parents, their children are studying away from away from home, 200-300 miles, never visit during the term. Never visit. Never visit. That's parental responsibility as well. I had a son whose father brought the son to my house, and he was giving a story. I never met this young man or his father in my life. He was giving a story about university, what's happening in university. I never told him, by the way, I had 30 years experience. I was listening to this story and I said, by the way, can you just answer this one question for me? Ask your children at the end of the year, when summer finishes, what is your average percentage mark for the year? That's all you need to ask. And you will get to know everything. Because they will be doing 6 modules and they will get an annual average percentage mark of all those modules for whatever they've studied, and you will know where they are in the year from that. And ask, by the way, don't just take their word for it, ask for the evidence. It will all be on an email, it will all be on the system, you'll be able to see it. So parents need to get involved. How many of us go to parents' evenings? How many of us have the ability to be a governor in a school board? Yet don't. This is where you influence what your child is learning. How many of us have got the time? You can join university boards. If you've got the profession, there will be Leeds, Sheffield, Huddersfield. These are universities where a lot of Muslim children are going. And I know a lot of Muslim parents want their child to stay at home at night. When my own kids wanted to go to university, they said, Dad, where shall we go? I said, you can go in any university of the world. You have to be home at night. They said, how is that possible? We're going to move there. I'm going to move with you. You can go where you like. Do what you like. I'll be there. If the child knows my parents are on top of this, because it's not just you're going into an environment, you're going to come across different people with different beliefs. Some like what you believe, some don't like what you believe. They will question you. What's this funny hat on your head? Why are you wearing a long skirt? These are questions. They're not necessarily, some people have genuine questions. But that is equally a place where you can explain your own faith. Not convert, but just explain it. You will develop the confidence to interact with other people, the social skills. And equally, you may well be influenced. Why is it the case where you go to university, you think, oh, there's a Salafi problem here. And Hazrat Maulana will speak on Salafism, inshallah. Well, there's a Salafi problem, i.e., we're not following, because when you've gone through this traditional Islam learning, classical Islam learning, and you go there, your values are being challenged now. And you think, oh, this is easy to do. Why should I take my socks off in the university to do wudu now? Makes sense. It fits in, I fit in. Oh, I go to the lunch canteen, I just say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, just eat what I like. That makes sense to me. So where you've got traditional values, these are now being changed. The issue is very simple from a mashayikh perspective. It's your heart is accepting all of this. There's something wrong here. Our heart needs to be developed to, like every day of our life, I don't want this type of value. Other people may have it, fine, that's what they want to do, but I don't want it. And there are brothers and sisters who come to university, mashallah, they get involved with the Islamic societies there, very conscious of the halal food system there, very conscious of reading Quran in their lunch break, whatever, and asking the imam or the chaplain, what is the masla for this and what is the ruling for this, etc. And sisters who are very conscious of their veil or their parda, even those who are coming not with any parda on, not with any veil on, not with any niqab on, but are very conscious of their salat. In fact, I've seen more who are not wearing the veil, not wearing any jabba, who are more conscious of the salah than others. So, within the structure of universities, once you are there, you will get in. If you engage in your books, you will have no time for other things. And once you see the results coming out, you will see in the first year, the Muslim children who are living from home are going. The fathers, the mothers don't know what's happening. They're going away. And I won't explain that further. So, parents' responsibility does not stop when the child starts university. We need to ask a lot. And this 250,000 figure is going to rise. It's going to rise. You will probably see more universities that will be discussing what can we do for Muslims. Okay. Obviously, finance is an issue. I'm not going to shy away from that. Finance is a big issue. There are bodies, I think Aziz Foundation, you can Google it afterwards, who support, but they mainly support postgraduates. But if there's a talent in your community, you should put a letter in, you should get supportive letters from the community, and they may well consider. There's Manchester Metropolitan University has recently, in the last few weeks, I attended the inauguration, MMSF, Manchester Muslim Student Fund. You visit the website, The way it's working, Sheikh, the business people are investing in buying properties and the rental income is supporting students. Subhanallah now, but business people should have thought of this many moons ago. This is how it's happening in other countries. In many trust funds you will have in the UK today, somebody has donated that money. And over time, that has, the interest has, what is the term? Accrued. The interest has accrued, built up. So if you're going to leave a will, if you're going to leave a legacy behind you, maybe some portion of it can be donated for educational causes. Or you can sponsor, for those who are retired or whatever, sponsor a child to get a good education. And there is a lot of talent out there, a lot of talent in Muslim kids, especially for those students who have graduated from a Darul Uloom. And there are opportunities for students who come out from a Darul Uloom to go into higher education and come out with degrees. You are really the people to serve the community because you got the best of both worlds. Warwick University offer a module to come straight onto a postgraduate. University of Central Lancashire offer a 2-week summer school for any student who's completed Darse-e-Nizami. If you pass that summer school, 2 weeks, you'll be eligible to come onto a master's course, part-time. You can do what you like in the day and evening course part-time, 2 days a week, 2 hours for those things, and over 2 years you will get your degree and it's up to you what you wish to do. So there are opportunities out there. Where there is a challenge, there is an opportunity. It's how we see it. If I've asked quite a few ulama who went to university, what was your experience? I've asked quite a lot of our students who come from Preston, Blackburn, Bolton, Dewsbury, Batley, who are in different types of universities, what were your challenges? And for a lot of the people, you ask them, is religion important? They will say to you, they come from a very traditional town, where Jamaat work, mashallah, Halaqa, Durush Sharif Majlis, etc. All of this is happening. Religion is not important to me. So, because nobody's asking them what's happening. And the biggest thing is your connection with your mashayikh. Whether you're listening to talks, whether you're reading their books, whether you're actually going to their majalis. So I personally said to many, those who go in Leicester, go to the majlis of Hazrat Maulana Salim Durat Sahib. If you're in Bolton or wherever, go to Hazrat's Majlis here, Hazrat Maulana Bilal Sahib's Majlis. If you're in London, go and see certain Sheikh. If you're in this part, go and see so and so. If your Urdu is bad, go to certain Sheikh. But the connection with your ulama is an absolute must. And because that is your connection with your traditional root learning. The parents should be going, if they're at a distance, just go and see your child, I'll bring food for you. I'll give you my personal scenarios. I had a son, my eldest son, was on a degree and he had a placement. His placement was in Portsmouth. I'm in Bolton. So I dropped him off, I found everything, I found him a flat, 2 minutes from a masjid, 2 minutes from the station, and 2 minutes from shops. It was £100 more in rent. I said, don't worry about that. I went to the masjid, introduced him to the imam. I said, this is my son, he is your amanat now. You look after him. Any problem with him, you've had it. He comes out the next morning, oh Dad, I'm going out now by myself. He was at a zebra crossing, a car stopped there, get in the car. You're so-and-so's son, do you want any help? It's up to you. Every 2 weeks I used to go there. And say, this is your food, this is your mom remembering you, your sister's remembering you. I just wanted to see what he was doing. And I used to ask all the guys, where are you working? Take me. Where's the placement? I'll go and see everybody. You take an interest, you encourage him, give him the confidence that deen is matter because you are responsible. Imam Ghazali rahmatullah alayhi is saying, Inna sabiyya jawharatun nafisa. Your child is a precious gem. Remember that feeling when you were in hospital and you became a father for the first time. Or you're giving your daughter away or your son's getting married. It's a precious gem. In awwattahu khayra. If you habituate that child, make that child do good habits, then you have the reward for it. فَلَكَ الثَّوَابِ وَإِنْ عَوَّدْتَهُ شَرًّا. If you habituate that child to do bad things, you're going to get the sin for it. So it's not just a question of my child is good and I can't communicate with my child anyway. This is wrong. This is wrong. I've said very openly, this is not right. It's a parental responsibility and you have a parental choice for education. And part of the choice, if you think I don't have the answer for this, then this is where the ulama come in. And if the ulama think I don't have the answer for this, they will go to their teachers. But the answer is, within the community, this can be dealt with. And we're living in a very changing world. We have witnessed over the last 2 weeks a big change in the UK. You will see notes changing, you will see passports changing, you will see post boxes changing. You will see a big change happening. Now we have to understand our change because I said to you, this is going to impact our kids. And every time there's a curriculum change or a value in Allama Tabarid Rahmatullahi alayhi, I'll leave all the hadith for Sheikh here, he's the expert. I'm very limited. I'm going to say very limited. كيف أنتم إذا يكون المعروف منكرا والمنكر معروفا. Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam asked the assembly of companions, how will you be when good becomes bad and bad becomes good? The Sahaba said, أَسَيَكُونُ ذَلِكَ يَا رَسُولَ اللَّهِ. Will this happen, O Rasulullah? Will this happen? The companions could not believe it. If you ask some of our Buzrugs who are sat here from the 70s who come here and worked in the cotton mills, and they said, oh, in 50 years' time, this is what Britain will be like, they will say, no chance. Because they lived on a street where all the doors were open at night. There was no problem. Car doors were open, no problem. Now we have alarms, all the doors are locked, and we come out from the window, we're checking from the window, is my car okay? In 50 years' time, society will change. Acha bhai, if society will change, this ma'ruf becomes munkar and munkar becomes ma'ruf. Good becomes bad and bad becomes good. The companions could not believe this. Said, سَيَكُونُ ذَلِكَ يَا رَسُولَ اللَّهِ بَلْ أَشَدُّ مِنْ ذَلِكَ. More severe than this, يَعْمُرُ النَّاسِ بِالْمُنْكَرِ وَيَنْهَوْنَ عَنِ الْمَعْرُوفِ. People will command to do bad and stop people from doing good. Do you or do you not see this? Are our children going through this or not going through this? It is not just a question of our children. The Muslim community is built for leadership. Kuntum khayra ummatin ukhrijat linnas. Your role is to be a leader. And part of the leader is to explain to people there is a hereafter, bros. There's a hereafter. Hereafter is not just for us, it's for everybody. And our responsibility is to explain to people, come to your Creator. If people wish to come, not come, that's their choice. But our role is, our children's role is, our youth's role is, if we are seeing now the young people who are moving away from religion, then do you really think we're all going to be having the Saturday night takeaway in Jannatul Firdaus together if that iman is not there? Where we're living now in a society, where people are commanded, it's okay to do this, what's the problem? It's your wish, your right. Allahu Akbar. And every type of thing is on the mobile. And the kids, you will notice, have better mobiles than all the adults. All the adults. It takes an adult 10 minutes to sort out, the kids will do it in 2 minutes. If I have a problem on my computer, I just tell my son, he comes in 2 minutes, it's sorted. Then I learn from him, so I don't have to call him again. And how many of us, if you, whatever profession you are in, spend time with your children? Spend time with your children. Make dua. And when you're choosing your profession, halal income. And the one thing we must impress upon our kids is that just because the father or the mother didn't go to university or college, whatever, their dua is the thing that's going to make them in this world. No child should be deprived from any parent's dua. And that child must know that how important my parents' dua is. There are loads of things, brothers, I could share with you, but we have 250,000 people in this system. This group is going to grow. What are we doing to understand that world? There will be more need for these types of programs and for specialists to come in. Because the next thing you need to do from this is careers workshops. You can be a doctor Hazrat will give you examples of a doctor, medical doctor, who's mashallah 5 times salat. Mashallah mutasharri. Mashallah going in with jabba. Nobody's stopping you. You can dress how you like in a university. No one's going to stop you. They may ask you, why are you wearing this? But that's okay. You have the right to ask, what are they wearing? But this will be an opportunity for dawah, and in the future, brothers. The way, if you think there are Islamophobic issues in society, the way to sort that out is talk at professional levels. The movers and shakers are the 1 or 2%. So a lot of these young kids who sat here, they will be working in the e-economy, internet economy. You ask how many people sat here who have got Amazon deliveries of Xboxes or PlayStations or iPhones, and businesses are operating from home. That's economy. So in that scenario, what are our aqaid? Our aqaid are our values. What are our values? What are the dangers? Every challenge is an opportunity. How are we going to link our profession with pleasing our Creator? If you're an accountant, then your pathway to Jannah is through your field. How are you going to help? If you are a solicitor, are you taking on cases that is going to help? Are you taking on a masjid case? Are you taking on another case? If you are a teacher, are you giving free tuitions to people who are worthy of that cause and will be helpful? How are you helping people? So as part of your life, we need to connect our profession with our Allah. And how are we going to do this? There's a dua of mashayikh and dua of parents. And I impress upon you again, the one thing we cannot do is detach ourselves from the classical traditional learning through ulama or mashayikh or bayans or majlis. These things, the nur of these gatherings have a great impact upon the heart. And also Quran recitation. Quran, best form of zikr, Quran recitation. As Hazrat Maulana inshallah will speak in light of Quran and Hadith, some of the issue of Salafiyat or some of the other challenges and questions and the philosophical approach to all these things. If anybody's got any questions afterwards, I'm going to be here, or you can ask through Hazrat Maulana Shaukat Sahab. But when your child says, I'm going to go to university, be part of that decision-making process. If you don't understand it, it's okay. Ask somebody for help. Ask somebody. Only the other day, I had dealing on a conference call, somebody had a question which was given to me on a WhatsApp. I straight away said, put them on a Zoom meeting, I will speak to them. Said, it's a Muslim sister. I said, fine, she doesn't need to show her face. I'll speak with them. The parent can sit there as well and listen to me. So they were in Patna, and I was in the heart of Bolton. So you get your advice or speak to anybody. Loads of experts up and down the country, mashallah. And those who have gone to universities, invite them back to your masjid from your local area. Whether they've gone to Leeds or Bradford or Sheffield or Huddersfield. These are the main universities. Sheffield, Hallam University or whatever the other one. These are the main universities that most of your kids here are going to. And if you're going far, then be involved in that decision. Link them with a local alim over there. And that is an absolute must. You leave them on for 3-4 years, then they're going to come back and say, what's happened to you? Because nowadays, a lot of parents before used to say, Dikra, dikri lene na auto. Barabar se nahi? Acha. Nowadays we say, chokra hate shadi nat karwani. Barabar se nahi? So, brothers, please, and the one thing I would also say part of my 6 numbers, do istikhara to Allah Rabbul Alameen. After Maghrib Salah, read 2 rakat Salat. Hajat. Don't forget Allah as part of that thinking process. Allah will help us inshallah. Wa akhiru da'wan alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen.